right? There we go. Okay, it was a heater. It was my new heater. Anna Kasparian put out a new opinion piece. My fellow progressives, we need to stop the gaslighting on crime. Opinion. Anna Kasparian. It's been breathtaking to watch the same Democrats who spent more than 2 years ordering Americans to trust COVID-related data turn around and reject statistics showing a clear rise in violent crime. A crime wave may not be convenient for the party in charge in the countdown to Tuesday's midterm elections, but that doesn't make it any less real. Oh, by the way, I just want to say, the beauty of what happened, so you know, the media, this is the beautiful part, what happened. The media immediately said, oh, the Republicans didn't know, they didn't get it at all. They got pwned. They thought they were going to make a pwn, but they only pwned like quite a bit, and it's like, oh. And so then, you see the problem is what about the down ballot? Oh, yeah. Oh, Republicans crushed it. Where it's red, it's totally red. See, when there is a tsunami, the tsunami covers the entire thing. It's not that it goes wave and then washes back out. It wave. So there's this whole area that's still underwater, still liquid. There's fish, sharks, alligators, there's gators. These aren't wetlands, homie. So a lot of people need to take heart that it wasn't bad. The FBI's newly released annual crime report, which isn't even complete, estimated that 2021 saw 22,900 murders, bringing the nation's homicide rate to 6.9 per 100,000 people. It's the highest number in almost 25 years. Uh-oh. What are Armenians? White. What does that make Anna Kasparian? A white woman. And what does Donovan say? White women don't like violence. Oh my God. Feeling the power of the ki with great honor. With great honor. Strength and honor. And as the genius video game player, Tyrannicon, also known as Throthgar. You can find him on YouTube. He's a genius. He plays video games better than anybody else. With ambition that can't be stopped. So, let's read on. It's the highest number in almost 25 years, following a 30% spike in homicide between 2019 and 2020. Cities like Philadelphia, New York, and Los Angeles broke annual homicide records, and there's been an uptick in other violent crimes like armed robbery and aggravated assault. It's no wonder that 61% of all voters, including 8 in 10 black voters, told Pew Research that violent crime is very important to their midterm votes. Yet, all they get from Democrats and progressives is gaslighting. In an interview on MSNBC last week, New York Governor Kathy Hochul brushed off concerns about public safety as nothing more than a conservative conspiracy to brainwash Americans into thinking they're less safe. Is Governor Hochul under the impression that black voters feel less safe because they're watching Fox News all day? All major crimes, with the exception of murder, are up in New York City this year. Police data show a 33% jump in robberies, a 58% rise in grand larceny, and a 31% increase in shooting incidents. Hochul's comments on MSNBC show were so woefully tone deaf that she was forced to walk them back in a subsequent interview on NY1 in a 180-degree turn that was reminiscent of another progressive forced to confront reality, this time in Los Angeles. During a debate last March, Democratic candidate for mayor Congresswoman Karen Bass was asked to rate how safe she feels on the streets of Los Angeles. I do feel safe, Bass answered. On a scale of 1 to 10, Bass rated her perception of safety at a 10. That all changed 5 months later when two men burglarized her home and stole her two of her handguns. So, it's really good to make sure that people, you make it very difficult for people to go through the legal process of acquiring handguns. Because, they could just get burgled. As Oregon is about to figure out. Oregon is about to figure it out. As I want to make sure to put that there's all these things that have popped up recently that are manifesting. They're all coming together into a convergence. Such as Die Art Die, where the woke liberals have finally taken a guerrillion shekels and they've somehow put it into a toilet that then went into a volcano in which the shekels then exploded violently into completely inedible and actually bird-killing glitter. And so it's just poop-smelling glitter all around a volcano, killing birds, killing nature. It's Die Art Die. And the beauty of this is that the liberals have not just done it, they've done it with a gusto that finally somebody somewhere, Yuri, Avi, Big Ty and Little Ty, they're somewhere sitting there in Ramat Gan going, where's my fucking shekels? I don't know. I don't want to hear anything about dead birds. What are you talking about, dead birds? These guys they're getting a lafa in Ramat Gan, sipping some coffee. Like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Where's my fucking shekels? They should have put more salad in this thing. It's all potatoes and goose liver. Oh my god. And plots. This is gonna be terrible later. Where's my goddamn money? It costs a lot of money to eat like this. I gave you guys a lot of money. What are you talking about? You already owned the comic books. How did you just had to have the guy look at the comic book, do that? Isn't that what he does? He's an actor, right? Oh my god. This is one of the best noshes ever. One of the worst conversations I've ever had in my life. And scene. See, I could write you a movie. I could write you a movie. You would make very little shekels. But it would be offensive. It would be offensive, and it would be kind of funny. So, Die or Die has come together with then this thing that I didn't want to think, because the MGTOW guys really made me see this. A lot of the race realist people really made me see. I'm like, no, I want that Snow White. like, I love a brunette. I love a brunette with a good tan. Oh, don't get me wrong. There's also these times where it's like, oh my gosh, you beautiful Snow White ginger. You need somebody to protect you. You need somebody to shower you in their earnings. It just is natural. You're just like, hello, you know. Well, hello. Look at that long mane of red hair. Hello there. And you know, and so I was like, that's what it is, isn't it? They're really, they know they're desirable, and they figure out their method of pulling them a nip. Because so many black women forgot what made black women really, really desirable is that it was very hard to get with them, because one, they mostly stuck with black dudes. Two, they were religious and conservative. They were notoriously conservative, and so, I mean, to the point where there's lots of songs about it. But you see, Die Art Die has taken all things that were real to the culture and has used them as a tampon in a tranny's panties, and so so it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter to a whole generation or two now. You know, I mean, hopefully there's a generation that's starting to figure out, no. You need to go back to somewhere around about the music of about the 50s, because you'll hear what these people really are trying to tell each other. You know, what the men are trying to tell the women, what the women are trying to tell the men. Like, you can hear the psyche of these people in the best songs, which are simple, usually very simple, and often written by Jewish people. Often, a lot of black music is written by Jewish guys and white guys that that lived around black people. It just came naturally. They would just write this stuff because it sounded like good music. You know, they're like, well, I mean, yeah, because black people love good music. I like good music. You know, this is a good song. So the beauty of seeing this confluence of Die Art Die, seeing this thing of the all women are like that, but also I found out AWLT also has something to do with white liberal women, like educated white liberal women or something. I have to look at it again when I was seeing, and I was like, wait, all women are like that, and I'm like, wait, no, that's not what you're calling this acronym. You're talking about white liberals, and that the white liberal vote, and then black women having envy of white women ever since feminism and the pill and the welfare state. It's this thing of they'll always vote Democratic because they're chumps, and they're naturally. I mean, they're black women who've become liberal. They probably are. If they have children, most likely they're dealing with bastardy. They're chumps. So, like Malcolm said. So that all changed 5 months later when two men burglarized her home and stole her two of her handguns. My safety has been shattered, Bass admitted, revising her personal safety rating to a 5 out of 10. So that would be average for people who play role-playing games. Of course, that would be average. 10 is the top, 0 is 0, and 5 would be average. The ordeal Bass' experience was awful, yet she was lucky. She wasn't confronted by armed individuals as many Angelenos have been in a new trend to follow home robberies, which authorities say involves 17 different gangs in the city. Ooh, boy, lucky they're on top of this, right? As a progressive myself, it's been frustrating to see members of my political group drop the ball. Poll after poll shows crime is one of voters' top concerns this election cycle, yet much like Governor Hochul and Rep. Bass, progressive activists and politicians have downplayed the crime rave by blaming right-wing fear-mongering. Winning! There we go. Full Skeletor. Winning! Okay. And conservative media is for voters' concerns about public safety. So this is where she should be very, very soon. Let's see. She should be, canceled very soon. Prominent civil rights attorney Alec Karakatsanis regularly smears reporters as propagandists for simply reporting on crime statistics. Karakatsanis is the founder of a nonprofit called Civil Rights Corps that employs as its treasurer the progressive former San Francisco District Attorney Chesa Boudin, who was evicted from office earlier this year by voters sick of his soft-on-crime approach as homicides were exploding in many parts of the country. In the summer of 2021, Karakatsanis argued that what constitutes a crime is determined by people in power who have a lot of money. So this is psychopath. Psycho or socio, but probably a bit of both. So this is the thing that now Anna is starting to, and I'll stop here because there's just more and more, because one of the things about this is this idea that this is, there we are. Okay, I was wondering why when I first heard of this. I've seen the crime wave and the police shortage play out firsthand in Los Angeles, a city where I was born and raised and still live today. Yet when I vocalize my own concerns about crime, my fellow progressives gaslight me, demand I reject what I've seen with my own eyes. I've been told repeatedly that it's all in my head, even after I was sexually assaulted by a stranger in my neighborhood earlier this year, but it's working class Angelenos who bear the brunt of the crime wave. Okay, so there we go. This is really now the kind of the beauty of this is that what now Anna is starting to understand is that the liberal point of view is fundamentally cowardly. It's almost a kind of, if you were to take beggary and cowardice and try to form it into a coherent form of a political way, political form. You would have the present-day liberals. You'd have progressives. Just these fundamentally, totally cowardly people. And to the point where what it is that they when they control the city council, they then tell the police, don't defend people from us when we assault them. If they assault us, immediately arrest them. And that because everyone understands it's a score. Everyone's seen it with their own eyes. But you're not supposed to believe stuff like this. And so I'm just loving that now she's starting to really realize, like, oh no, they really are like that. Where was this? It was I thought it was such a good little find. Come on, do my bidding. Just want to take a look at something I had here. Where was this? This might have been one that was kind of fascinating. Oh yeah, and so this was something that I thought that Hoodservative and the others would like a lot. Apparently there was a thread about the Nation of Islam. So this is very important for people who were supporters of Black Lives Matter. There is no Black Lives Matter without this. This is what it was drawing on. This is the culture. These are the people. What this influence, what I'm about to share with you all, which I knew most of this about, but then there was a lot of this. I'm like, whoa, okay. I didn't know that, and I didn't know that. But a lot of black people kind of laugh a bit about this because we're like, come on, nobody believes this. But no, I read the autobiography of Malcolm X 3 times. No, Alex Haley expressed, like, he's like, no, this man firmly believes this. There's people who believe this. And so this is why when people are talking about Kanye West, it's like, I don't think you understand. and then finally I was kind of fascinated. Like, I'm like, these people don't know Black Lives Matter is ripping them off because, like, hardcore black, militant, pro-black ass people, they think something very different than these BLM people. This is just a convenient ruse that a bunch of white liberals are pulling off. And they're just, and I was just sitting there just like, I can't wait till this goes horribly wrong on these white liberals. And that was the third part of the convergence, is hashtag white liberals finna learn. The Son of Man came for the deliverance of the lost tribe of Islam, and not to serve the Caucasian, as the white man is the devil. And that is why he must be killed, and we Muslims must kill him. Muslims with an O. Because this, yeah, a threat on the Nation of Islam and their wild beliefs. And so, who was this? Georgicus Floydicus. Oh, Lord, forgive me. I'm going to hell. Oh, that's so bad. So bad and so good. It's on Twitter. Georgicus. So hood conservative. Make sure. Make sure to follow brother Georgicus Floydicus. Obviously, deep one of those Greeks descended from the ancient Africans, because black people, there were black people everywhere for the last hella long, for the last gorillion years. The British wouldn't knew they were black people there, and then the British showed up. The NOI was founded in Detroit, Michigan in 1930 by William Fard Muhammad, a prolific criminal and race charlatan who was half British and half Polynesian. Per his FBI file, WFM deceived his followers about his race and described his teachings as strictly a racket. And they have all these documents that this person made sure to post. These teachings were likely co-opted from the Moorish Science Temple of America, and this is why I love that, like, all these BLM assholes, these like white liberal schmucks, that it's like, so have you ever heard of the Moorish Science Temple? And they're like, what? What? And the Moors? Who? What? You know. So, a group founded by Noble Drew Ali. Have you ever heard of Noble Drew Ali? What? In 1913, which taught that the Olmec people of Mesoamerica were founded by a West African Moor named Yaub. From this seed, the Yaub doctrine was born. After WFM's disappearance in the early 1930s, his disciple Elijah Muhammad took control of the organization and expanded upon WFM's teaching, the most fully in his chapter, The Making of Devil, in his book, Message to the Black Man in America. First, though some background, according to a Louis Farrakhan lecture, the original human tribe was founded by a black architect named Shabazz. This tribe went on to populate all of Africa. A later scientist, also named Shabazz, created a new black race with nappy hair and rough skin so they could conquer the jungle. It was from this tribe that the big head scientist, Yaub, was fated to be born. Yaub was an eccentric kid with a big head. It's just when you've been around, if you've ever been around black people when you were a kid, and every once in a while, you know, like, you would be like, why do they call him that? Like, why does his mama call him that? And they would say something, and you'd be like, oh my god, that's so fucked up, dog. Like, what? That's fucked up, dude. Why do y'all call him that? why is his family call him? Why is his sister call him that? Like, that's kind of fucked up, dude. He's like 16. Come on now. Can't be calling him that because he made boo boo in his pants as a kid. They call him boo boo. Like, that's fucked up, dog. That's why would you do that to somebody? Why'd you do that to a brother? And so that's why this was funny. For this, he was bullied. And so at 6 years old, after discovering the law of attraction, Yaub decided to create a new race to rule over the tribe of Shabazz and reign for 6,000 years. At 18, after finishing university, Yaub discovered that within the black man there was a black germ and a brown germ. From this, he deduced that he could graft a new race out of the black race. There's like documents, like lots of documents. This guy's got a ton of this on Scribe. So whoever Georgicus Floydicus is quite a person here. This is quite a thread on ThreadApp. So Yaub set about attracting followers who he could use to engineer his new race of man. Once the authorities found out what he was up to, they imprisoned him and all of his disciples. Eventually, Yaub made a deal with the king that he and his followers would leave Mecca. Apparently, there was, a king of Mecca involved. I didn't catch that, but under the condition that the king would furnish them with everything they needed to start a civilization for 20 years. Wait a second. Like, welfare? Okay, after this period, Yaub and his 60,000 followers would leave for the island of Pelan. It was on this island that Yaub began his plan to graft a new race out of the old one, basically just a eugenics program. Every lighter baby born would be spared, and every darker baby killed. After 200 years of this practice, the brown race was born. After another 200 years, the red and yellow races were born. Finally, after 600 years in total, Yaub and his followers had created the white race. Also, peep the ethno-narcissism of calling blue eyes the ugliest color. Okay, because he's okay. New syllabus files, WordPress. Okay. Here, Elijah Muhammad states that the grafting process seared deceit and murderousness into the very nature of the white race. This new evil race was constructed to go back to Mecca to wreak havoc on the people. After 6 months of sowing discord, the king ordered the white devils removed. They were sent to Europe, where they were to live naked and beast-like for 2,000 years. It is said that some of the whites tried to graft themselves back into the black nation, but it was impossible. In fact, were these failed attempts that created all the species of ape that we know today. So, as taught by the Nation of Islam, if you mix races, you come up with apes. Yes. This is a very high level. Anyway, after 2,000 years of bestiality, Allah called on the biblical Moses to civilize the white race. It was with this. Remember that part of. That's the book. That's the 6th book. It was this guidance that they were able to usurp power and rule over the world. Elijah Muhammad ends by opposing the goodly nature and heart of gold of the black race with the deceptive, weak, and evil qualities of the white race. Now, one might be tempted to ask, how did this supposedly weak and inferior race come to dominate the stronger one? The answer is, with capital T, Tricknology. Oh yes, brothers and sisters, the art of deception taught to the white race by Yaub. Joking aside, it is amazing how many influential black celebrities bought into the NOI's ideology. In the 20th century, both Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali believed in the literal truth of the Yaub doctrine for a time. Farrakhan and several famous rappers still claim real belief. I think the Yaub story serves as a kind of black theodicy, as well as a rationalization for a subjective sense of inferiority. That is it. That is, it offers a mythological explanation for black suffering that puts the blame squarely on the shoulders of their oppressors. It's also a clever workaround as a racially supremacist ideology. It allows blacks to claim racial superiority when they are outperformed. In addition, it promises a black eschaton, a time when, finally, blacks will reclaim their position atop the racial hierarchy. For these reasons, I see the Yaub story in almost a positive light, besides the fact that it's hilarious. It makes sense psychologically and serves a rational purpose. Though, to be fair, this fondness is somewhat diminished when I remember it was started by a white man as a grift. This investigation was inspired by the tweet below. Monitoring bias, followers of the Nation of Islam believe that the research of the black scientist named Yaub led to the creation of the white race via grafting of monkeys and albinos. After his death, some of Yaub's university colleagues were killed when Moses threw dynamite at them. It's got some woman, oh my god, there's a picture. Holy crap. Do I try to find this on? Okay, dang. I wish there was a way I knew how to link this. Oh, there is a video with, it's some woman. Behind her is one of the pictures of Yaub, but then on the wall is some kind of diagram of Yaub with all these lines and and he's got the big head and he's got some kind of this is almost, it's like almost like Tibetan Buddhist medicine drawing of Yaub. This is amazing. I don't, because you see, I'm not on what do you call it? I might have to look up big head scientist Yaub videos just to find that gold. Okay, there we go. The truth reveals itself. It writes itself. It's writing itself every day now. Every day, things are getting worse. Good song.